My article in Family Process is about collaborative relationships and dialogic conversations. I want to introduce it to you by telling you about a consultation with a woman who had a long-standing, plaguing, distressing family conflict. She had inherited her deceased grandmother's role as the glue in the family who hosted all the holiday celebrations in her home. She felt a huge responsibility to carry on her grandmother's role and traditions. She sought consultation because an important Chinese family holiday was approaching. She dreaded the holiday because she did not want to continue the family ritual of a mandatory dinner, much less the mandatory family guest. She dearly loved her uncle but detested his wife, to put it mildly. She wanted to invite her uncle to dinner, but neither wanted to invite or not invite his wife, but didn't want her included. She felt a painful moral bind and unbearable decision dilemma. She was filled with guilt, anger, and frustration, and felt the situation was hopeless and unsolvable because, again, she neither wanted the wife at the dinner nor to dishonor her grandmother. I listened to her story, participated in its telling, engaging with her in a mutual inquiry, responding with interest and curiosity, posing questions, commenting, and so forth, actively trying to understand the situation from her perspective. Running through her story fragments about the family situation was her adamacy that she would not waver in her conviction that she would not, under any circumstances, do anything that might be or appear to be a conciliatory gesture toward her uncle's wife. Our conversation touched the edge of several options that she indicated in one way or another would not work. She asked me, "So what should I do?" I said, "Well, let me think out loud for a moment to see if I could come up with 2 or 3 possible ways that she might handle the situation that we could discuss, and perhaps some useful ideas would emerge from our talking about them." So I tentatively offered ideas that formed as I spoke. As we explored them, I paid careful attention to her responses and kept in mind that she wanted to continue her good relationship with her uncle and was not seeking an amiable relationship with his wife. She gave reasons why none nor any variation would work. All sounded like offering an olive branch to the uncle's wife and mending a relationship that she didn't want to mend. Neither was my intention. My ideas were offered for food, for thought, and dialogue, simply as ways to continue talking about her situation and exploring possible options. I did not think in any way that she was a difficult nor a negative person, but rather she knew her life and circumstances better than I could. She left our session without answers, but satisfied with our seemingly simple conversation, generously thanking me, saying it was very good to talk about her problem and that she felt she would be able to find a solution, but had no idea how or what it might be. Rather than a solution, to me, she seemed to have a sense of peace and a sense of a way forward. A month later, I received an unsolicited email from her. Her words: "It has been a month since we met. I've had dinner gathering with my uncle. I finally did not suggest to him whether to bring his wife to the dinner or not. I cannot explain why, but it seems that I suddenly realized this. It should be my uncle who decides whether to bring his wife with him, not me. He came alone to the dinner without anyone asking him to do so. I think I will not worry about this issue anymore, not because I trust my uncle will do the right thing, but I have changed from within. Now I feel like I can just let it be. I believe even if my aunt joins our gathering, I will still be able to handle the situation without problem. I really cannot figure out why my attitude changed, but I welcome this change. I think the interview you did with me was a turning point. Thank you very much. It was definitely enhanced this change." Several months later, I received another brief email from her. "The Mid-Autumn Festival is approaching, and this is the second most important gathering for the Chinese. I will meet my uncle for a dinner without hesitation this time. Thanks again for the interview." The article you will read portrays the art and soul of collaborative therapy. In it, I describe the therapist's philosophical stance, which invites and encourages therapy as a spontaneous, non-formulaic, mutual occasion for client and therapist to join in a relational, dialogical inquiry. Something new begins to emerge throughout the encounter, while at the same time informing it and continuing afterwards for each member. The inquiry is the space and process that becomes an adaptable and sustainable platform for transformative possibilities. Each conversation is a springboard for future ones and for clients to develop their own new meanings, understandings, actions, and ways forward that are unique and relevant to them and their lives. The woman's feedback in the story depicts one example of the emergent and unforeseen possibilities that can flow from a sustainable, generative relational space and dialogic process.